What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of SoftGirlEra, the podcast that focuses on healing that inner child so you can flourish into the woman that God has called you to be. I'm your host, Brittany. And for today's conversation, y'all get ready to turn all the way up. We got a whole powerhouse in the building. I'm talking about, she's a coach, she's a speaker, she is the host of Unapologetically, Idylli podcast, and she is the founder of Booked and Becoming Visible AF. You've probably seen her online or felt her energy in a room. I'm talking about none other than Idylli.
Oh, girl, you making me blush over here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You are just always just helping ambitious women get seen, heard, and paid for who they truly are. And y'all, she does all of this while juggling motherhood, multiple jobs, and a whole movement in the making. Girl, I'm just so excited to have you. Thank you for your yes, and thank you to welcome you to SoftGirlEra Podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the SoftGirlEra Podcast. Thank you, Brittany. I'm so proud of you. Let me say this. I remember, when it was and you just went all in here and you've gone all in, and this is such a big deal because your voice needs to be heard, and it is. And I'm so grateful and honored to be here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Girl, so let's rewind a little bit because I know that with Visible AF, take us back to that. You're just always showing up with so much boldness and purpose. But how did your journey to Visible AF even begin?
I will. Okay. So my name is Idylli, right? I'm in Tampa, Florida. I have 3 amazing children, a husband. And a lot of the time with my story, people think, oh, well, she must be doing great or something, the good had happened in her life, right? But if you were a part of my previous journey, the Speak Easy with Idylli show, I had that podcast for 2 years, and you would know that my story was nonetheless clean, right?
Yeah.
Super dirty, started at a very young age. Ever since my dad passed away at 8 years old, the trajectory of my life completely changed. I didn't know the Lord like that. I always knew God. Don't get it twisted. My grandfather was Catholic. We grew up Catholic. All I remember is standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. No disrespect to all my Catholics out there, right?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
That's all I remember, right? But God knew me and I knew God, right?
Yeah,
and he kind of always chased me. And so I had a really, really rough story growing up. And then I went to work. So I only knew 2 things out of life.
Yeah.
Either the street life or a job.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was to be an entrepreneur.
That bag.
You know what I mean? I didn't know what it was to be an entrepreneur. I did not realize what that was. Mm-hmm. I was just saying recently, I was like, man, because my daughter's 18 and, we're going through that teenage thing. Right? Where they know it all.
Right.
And I thought to myself, man, when I was 18, I literally worked at Domino's Pizza. I worked at the thrift store. I did some illegal things we're not going to talk about, right? Even though my friend,
under the rug.
Exactly. My friend the other day, she's like, "Oh, statute of limitations. You don't have to worry about it. It's statute of limitations."
No, I ain't saying nothing.
Exactly. But I did all of those things. I worked at a bar, right? I would make $700 in a night, then spend it.
Right.
Because I'm like, I get paid Friday from Domino's. I'm
good.
Because no one taught me money skills, right? I was making money. I knew how to hustle,
right?
But no one taught me money skills. I didn't know what it was to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know start a business, invest, do these things, right? I just partied and lived my life, right? And so, with that being said, 9 years ago, someone introduced me to network marketing. And when they did, it completely changed my life.
Right.
So I remember my first event. I went to this event. I know people have a stigma about network marketing, but I promise you, it was the one thing that changed my life forever. I was at an event, and it was a training event, and I'm sitting here. There's 10,000 people in the stadium, right? We were in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Dallas, Texas Stadium, 10,000 people there. I'm all the way at the top. And nosebleeds area was my first time ever. And Hebrews 11 comes on the Jumbotron. And I thought to myself, Hebrews 11 in front of 10,000 people. Like, people are
Right.
not doing that, right?
Yeah.
They took God out of schools. They did these things. Like, I'm in the right place, and like tears just started coming down my eyes, and I'm just like listening to this story. I'll never forget. It was Dave Viola. I'm listening to his story, and he's talking about Hebrews 11 and faith, and I'm thinking to myself, Lord, what are you doing to me right now, right?
Like, what are you trying to show me?
What are you trying to show me, right? Are you trying to show me you? Like, what is really happening right now? And I just remember that night I went into the mirror in the hotel room and I told myself, I will definitely get rich or die trying.
Yeah.
And I know that that's cliche and it's 50 Cent, and I just told my age, right? Even shouting that out.
Most are like, I don't know what she's saying.
Right. But it was more than rich in money. It's like rich in love, rich in positivity, rich in energy, rich in the
God.
Lord.
Yeah.
You know, just like rich in all of these things. You know, when you have like a rich piece of chocolate, how good it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, that's what I was savoring.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, okay, I see this. And it just changed everything for me. Now, am I going to say that everything was the best and cookies
Like
and cream?
after that, right.
After that, no. I mean, we lost everything after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking our whole storage, our whole life, our apartment, like our home. We lost everything after that. The 9 years were such an up and down. But I just, again, at that moment, everything changed for me.
Yeah, it was a real pruning. So what can women expect to when they step into that space with you for Visible AF? Because I know that you work with multiple women.
Yeah.
What can they expect?
Well, I would say it's the whole pruning thing. So be ready to prune. Going from Speakeasy with Idylli, you know, Visible AF, first of all, a lot of people might think that they know what the AF stand for, right? But
I know, right?
But they don't.
Let's clarify
Let's
that.
clarify that, right? And it's funny because the other day I posted something and it had like a curse word behind it. And I'm like, okay, so disclaimer, I don't use this language all the time anymore. It does slip out sometimes. It does. I'm not gonna lie. God cleanse me, purify my heart from that.
No, but like, let's keep it real too, you know?
But I'm gonna be honest and real,
Exactly,
right? My kids
exactly.
know because they've heard it, right? So I'm not gonna stay here and lie. But at the end of the day, it's not my forte. But that AF, you know, you'll definitely, as you tune in more, you'll know what it's for. And it's what does the AF stand for you? Always this, always that, as what? As F as what, right? What is that F for you? And so that's what the Visible AF stands for, Booked and Becoming, because a lot of us who are successful, who have, like yourself, like you're successful, you have a home, she has, you know, built an amazing career, entrepreneurship vibes, you're a mom, but yet you hadn't started your podcast or put yourself out there on social media. Right. And so that's exactly, and you finally did, and you're growing, and now it's getting better and better, and
it's been real.
It's been real, right? But that's a lot of the women are like that.
Absolutely.
We see so many people on social media and we think, oh, everybody's on social media, but they're not.
Yeah.
Right? And there's these women that are hiding behind their success.
Right.
Behind their nice homes, behind their careers.
Yeah.
Who are ready but don't know how, or think they might, or think they can't.
Yeah.
A lot of women had told me, oh, I'm a makeup artist, but I don't have time they say I need to post me, but I don't have time. Sis, like, no, we got to make time. You have time. Well, let's figure it out, right?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Just hearing like the excuses, because that was me. I remember, I don't know if you remember, but you and we were in the car driving back from that conference that one time.
You brought me home.
Yes. And I was just filling you up with all the excuses of why I can't. You know, and then you were telling me like, girl, like when I first started, I didn't have XYZ. I think you said you were like in your backyard. You were basically telling me your setup. And I carry that with me, you know, so that's why our words matter. When we have these conversations with people, our words matter. And so I just kept making up excuses. My number one excuse for the podcasting, because I was just like, this was before I started. I just kept feeling like God was like, do it, you know, just drilling me. And I'm like, I can't do it because I can't edit. I don't have this, I don't have that. I don't like editing. I'm not like this big social media girl. You know how girls like, they're just taking like their selfies and this and that. Like, that's never been me. That's just never been me. Like, I just know when the Holy Spirit is talking to me, I know that I need to get it out to the people, but I just didn't know how. And so God was like, yeah, that's the podcast. I keep drilling into you. But I'm like making up all these excuses. So I could only imagine you working with so many clients, the excuses that's, you know, behind them. So what is one common excuse or common mindset or belief that most women tend to have that's keeping them from showing up and being bold?
Honestly, the belief that they can do it.
Yeah.
The belief and rejection. People are afraid of what other people are going to think.
Yeah.
They're going to get in that camera and they're afraid of what somebody else is looking. They're going to jump on stage. They're going to walk into a room and shrink because they're afraid of what people are going to judge on them.
That's so
And that's
good.
why I say online, in the rooms, on stage, on purpose. One of my biggest things I tell my clients, and I tell everybody. I was talking to, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just forgot his name. But we were on stage. We were about to go. I was about to introduce him. He was about to speak. And we talked about being nervous and stuff. I'm like, I still get nervous. Like, I love the mic, but I still get nervous.
Yeah.
But the moment that I start to get too much, I realize that I'm making it about me. And it's not.
You are feeding me right now.
That's when it comes down.
Yeah.
So when you're in front of that camera, when you're in front of that stage, when you're walking into that room ready to shake that hand, the moment that you are worried about what the other person is thinking about you, you've made it about you, and we have to stop that. It is not about you. It is about the message. Right? You're the messenger. It is about the message.
Yeah.
It is about the person, that one person, 10 people, 1,000 people who's going to hear your story, who's going to hear that one thing, like you just said, right? That stuck with you.
Absolutely.
Right? And is going to change the trajectory of their lives.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't know who that's going to be. All we know is we have to show up.
Absolutely.
And be visible.
Yeah. So how do you shift that? Like, what is something that you tell them or that you have them do? Is there like an exercise, or what do you do?
Perfect.
What does it look like for you?
Practice makes permanent. I never say perfect.
Yeah.
Because there's always room for improvement. Okay. I used to work at the women's group. I worked there for 10 years. They grew me. I always say I went from Domino's Pizza when I was working there to working at OBGYN doctor's office. Okay. So I always tell them, like, professionally, they really, really challenged me. They grew me. And they turned me into, you know, a woman, basically, because I was really young.
Yeah.
And so my boss, she would always, when we did reviews, she would always give me 4s, right? But it was
out of what?
Up to a 5.
Dang,
right?
So what am I missing?
No, exactly. But we're not missing anything. There's always room for improvement.
Oh, I love that.
And she would tell me that.
Yeah.
She was like, I could give you 5s, but there's always room to grow.
There is.
There's always room for improvement. And that stuck with me, right?
Yeah.
That stuck with me my entire life. And I tell my kids that I don't make, practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. It doesn't make permanent, it makes permanent.
Yeah.
Okay? And so I get really excited and I start to fumble my words. But
no, I love it. And I say progress too, because I don't say perfection either, because it's never going to be perfection.
We're never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, no. And so it's taking those steps and practicing, looking in the mirror, talking to yourself. Like, the mirror is huge. The mirror changed my life. Like,
oh my goodness.
Sometimes I would look in the mirror and talk to myself, and honestly, it would be like, you're a liar.
Yeah.
You're ugly. Like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Like, you are not. Don't forget your abuse. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget the drugs. Don't forget all of these things that happened to you, girl. You are not that person. You cannot make it.
And I had to remind yourself what God says about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had to fight that.
It's like a battle.
And you see the tears start to roll up and you start looking deep into your eyes. And it's just really this connection with yourself, with the Lord, and just really understanding whose you are.
That's so deep.
It's such a difference.
That's so deep.
It really is. And we have to get that deep.
Wow. So I know that, y'all, so when she first got here, her phone was just going ham. And I'm like, dang, like, you know, you won't get that? She's like, oh, it's just my alarm, just telling me that I'm fabulous and don't forget it. So this girl has alarms throughout the day with affirmations. How did you get to that point? And like, is that something that you tell your clients to do as well? Because I already took note. I was like, let me go ahead and set my little alarm.
I do.
I love that.
And you know, and we have to do that. And so I did, my mentor, and that's what it is. We can't do this alone.
Yeah.
We just can't. Like, at the end of the day, we were not put on this earth to do it alone. Community, the body, it is a part of the biblical word, is how God wants us to live. And that's also in coaching and in mentoring, in therapy, right? In all of these different things, God gave talents to people, certain talents to line up and set us up for success.
Absolutely.
We have to follow them. If you've been through something, go see therapy. If you want to, you know, learn how to do something new, go to school. If you want to be educated in a certain way, if you want to be an entrepreneur, get some coaching, get some mentoring. Like, at the end of the day, we have ChatGPT, which is my best friend. It's helped me build out my whole business,
I recently got put onto it.
Girl, keep going on it, okay?
Yeah. It really helps.
My chat is my bestie. It talks to me like my bestie. It's like
I feel like it's a normal conversation. They're like, oh no, you don't want this. You want more of this vibe. I'm like, yes, actually I do. I like that. Thank you.
Exactly. And so I love it, but it can't be all we do, right? And yes, we have YouTube University. We love YouTube University, but it can't be all we do. We have to have a mentor, someone to hold us accountable.
Right, absolutely.
Right? Someone to teach us, someone to say, actually, let's go left instead of right.
Yeah.
Right?
That mentorship.
And that mentorship has been everything to me. I've been so blessed, Brittany. I've been so blessed with people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Community is huge too, because I think a lot of people, and I can speak for myself, at one point I was going through so much alone because I felt like nobody could relate, or automatically people would judge me, not even realizing that a lot of their stories were way worse than mine, or they already been through that. So like once I got out of that shell and went into community and I started sharing my story or what I was going through at that time, and like just hearing the feedback and the wisdom that was poured into me, I'm like, dang, so you do feel me. Like I'm not being judged. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I tend to see men often sharing their story. You know, they've been to jail, they were selling the drugs, this and that. But like for women, because a woman, they shouldn't be doing that, you know? And it's like, girl, I was out here in them streets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Am I supposed to be sharing this, or am I supposed to keep it PG and keep it like ladylike and just say, oh no, I had a little bumps down the road? No, and God's like, no, girl, like I want you to share all of that, because there's so many more women who need to hear that and to know that they're not alone. So that's basically where this podcast stems from, because a lot of our trauma, we don't even realize that it comes from that childhood, whether it's childhood or teenage years, and it just continues to carry on because we've never dealt with that, you know? So it's like, how do we show up now if we haven't dealt with those past I won't even say mistakes, but just that past trauma.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, the other day I was just having a conversation with my daughter, and I was apologizing again. I told her I won't apologize for the rest of my life, but I will just continue to have you understand that we grew up together.
Yeah.
Right. Sadly, I have a 9-year-old. I have 21, 18, and 9. And so my 9-year-old has this way different now than my 18 and 21 because they grew up with us. We were still hurt. We were still traumatized. We were raising each other. We were toxic, right? My husband and I had a very toxic relationship, and my kids grew up in that, right? My daughter, she was at Grace Church, and she was like, Mommy, I'm going to tell my testimony on stage. Girl, I about lost it. I was like, really? Oh my goodness. She goes, I want you guys to come. But a part of me doesn't want you guys to come because I don't want you guys to feel bad.
Oh.
And I told her, I'm like, baby, that's your story.
Yeah.
That's your story for God's glory.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now is breaking a generational pattern.
Yep.
And there's no way I wouldn't be there to support it.
I love that.
I get it.
Right? Love that.
And she did. She went up there and she's like, I grew up in a toxic home. I didn't feel loved and I didn't feel all this. And of course it hurt me. Of course. I'm going to cry right now thinking about it. Right? But that's her story. This is what we went through.
Yeah.
We cannot hold that back or deny it or fake it or front. Right? But if you look at, I actually did a post about it. That same week I was on stage.
I think I saw it because it like brought tears to me, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Because that same week I was on stage. I'm in the mic. Then I have a post of her on the mic. And I'm thinking, man, this is generational broken pattern here. Like, this will live on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Everything has changed. The chains were literally broken, right?
No more strongholds.
No more strongholds on our family.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we went through what we went through, but it does hurt.
Yeah, of course.
And it doesn't go away.
Of course. And I love that you don't keep her from sharing that, because so similar, you know, a lot of my testimony has to do with my parents. So my dad, he passed away, but my mom, I told her, I was like, listen, I think it's time that I share my testimony, and you're a huge part of that. And there's going to be some things in there that I need to know if you're okay with. And basically the same feedback that you gave your daughter is what she gave to me. And I was so scared because I wasn't sure how she was going to take that. But I think because she's also a woman of God, you know, she's walked this journey, that she understands that it has to be shared. Yeah. But on the other hand, I have a close friend of mine who, her mom is kind of against sharing that, you know, and she's like, no, don't put me in there, and people are gonna think XYZ, but that's our testimony, you know. That's what helped us in life and what guided us and led us to where we are now.
Yeah.
So I just love that you give your daughter, all of your children, that full support.
Right. And that's because, not that she's not healed, the shame's still there. So because I'm not healed, right? I'm still healing.
Yeah.
However, I'm not ashamed anymore.
Right.
It is what it is. This was my life. This
It
was
is what it
I
is,
cannot change it.
Yeah.
Right. If I could go back, I would, but I can't. So that mom is still ashamed of that. And that's why she's worried about
I think that's
what
exactly
people are
what it
going to
is,
think versus somebody, either whether it's a video or whatever your friend is doing, seeing that and wanting to change because of it. So she hasn't had that flip in her mindset yet. She's more ashamed, again, worried about what people are going to think. That's what we all are. That's why people don't go all in. We're scared of rejection.
That rejection is, well, especially now with social media, because you have the likes, you have the views, you have the subscribers. And I told myself, like, I had a chat with myself and God, and I was like, listen, even if only 5 people watch this video, I'm okay with that, because that's 5 more people that have gotten closer to Christ. And again, it's not like what you were saying. It's no longer about me. It's about just getting the message out and being obedient to God. And so I think a lot of people as Christians, we have to remember that, you know, we have to put ourselves to the side, because it's not about us. Like you said, when, you know, we get super nervous on stage, being nervous is fine. That's normal. That just means that, you know, your heart is in it. It's not just like, oh, I'm just up here doing it, you know, but I think if you're getting like too overly nervous, what you said, that's another thing that's going to stick with me. Like, okay, why am I getting this nervous? And again, it's because I'm putting myself in this and not even remembering the message in itself. So I love that. So that's something that I think most of us have to remember, you know, when it comes time to rejection. Like, baby girl, it's not about you.
Exactly.
It's not about you. Sorry, not sorry.
When I was in network marketing, they told us like this, and I actually stick this in my head so much. When you go to dinner and you go to have, what do they always offer you? Dessert, right?
Yes.
They always offer dessert, but not everybody gets dessert. Most of the time you're good with dinner, you're good to go.
It's only a handful of times I got some dessert.
Not everybody gets dessert. I mean, it's you're right, a handful of times. And so the waitress is not going to the back, crying her eyes out because no one got dessert. Right? Like, she's not taking offense. She's not broken down. She can't go to the next person because they said no. They didn't want dessert. Some people don't want dessert. They just want to be fed and they want to go. Right? And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's the power of rejection. Like, that's okay.
That's so good. That was so good. Girl, I should have brought me like a little notebook. For real. You're just always feeding me.
And this is why it's important to be in the right rooms. This is why it's important. Like, all of this stuff is not from me. This is not me. This is me learning and applying, taking action, you know, moving forward, healing, praying every day in my journal. Right now I'm going through Isaiah. And so at the beginning, anybody who's read Isaiah, you're like, okay, first of all, Isaiah. I don't understand what he's trying to say. Then when I understand, I'm like, why is he just beating these people up? Like, all they're doing is just like, in the beginning, is beating. And so ChatGPT, I said, Chat, I'm reading Isaiah. Help me to study this a little bit better, right? And they were like, section 1 through 6, da-da-da. Section this, da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, some journal prompts to go with it. And it just really helped me clarify. One of the journal prompts for the beginning, 1 through 6, was, God, what do you want to cleanse in me?
Wow.
Right? And so I started to ask that. This was this week alone. And so then Isaiah started to make more sense to me. And then there was a couple of things, right? Like a show that I'm watching and another thing. And I'm like, okay, God, like, this ain't you. You're just saying, like, that's just my head, right? And then it keeps coming back. No, you asked, right? You asked, what would you like me to cleanse in you, right? How 1 through 6, chapter 1 through 6 in Isaiah, what is that you need me to clean out in me? Because if you
ask, he gonna tell you. He gonna show you.
Show exactly.
Every time.
And he has been doing so. And so I'm excited to get through the next chapters, you know, but it's like, this is how I'm better. People ask me, Idylli, how are you always so happy? And so it's the Spirit of the Lord. Sis, if it was up to me, I'm going to be real. Can we be real? Can we keep it 100?
Please.
If it was not because of the Spirit of the Lord, it was me, I'd probably be smoking a blunt, watching Netflix, in my sorrows,
it's you versus
not
you.
caring about nothing, having a glass of wine every single night when I got home. Not that there's anything wrong with people who drink a glass of wine, but excessively.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, excessively drinking bottles and bottles of wine, not caring, being stressed.
The decisions behind that too.
Yes, but it is the Spirit of the Lord that carries me through. He brings his joy inside me all the time. I know when I'm getting messy, it's because I'm not in him.
Yeah.
Because I've slacked off on reading.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in my Bible. Because I'm not praying enough. Because I'm not doing these things.
Yeah. And I can even see that, like, if I miss a couple of days without reading, so I'm in the book of Acts, Isaiah, fire. Take your time.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the longest for me because, like you said, I'm like, I'm not getting it. Like, I have to break it down, you know? But anywho, if I'm going just a little bit too long with, you know, not being deeply rooted into the word or just into prayer time, it even shows up with how I react to towards my son. Like, I'm not as patient, you know, like any little thing, I'm just like, okay, let me just bring it back in. You know,
Yes.
I realized that maybe I didn't get my proper prayer time in today or yesterday. And it just shows up when you're not deeply rooted in Christ. All the enemy and yourself, the flesh, it starts to come out, you know?
Yep.
So says you wear so many hats. You are a wife, you're a mother, a whole entrepreneur out here. You just doing your big one.
Yes.
But how do you, in all of this, how do you not lose who you are in the midst of it while wearing all of these hats?
By being my best friend. And never forgetting me first, right? And I think for years I didn't do that, right?
Yeah.
I was always about everybody else
put you
first, right? And I started to stop doing that. I'm like, no, I am my best friends and I'm going to be me first, right? And then I can be this to everybody else. Cause you're right. I work 2 jobs. Like I work during the day, 8 to 5, and then I work at Sephora. And then I'm creating content, rebranding the podcast, creating these events, curating these booked and becoming events. Being a mom, right?
Yeah.
My 9-year-old son, he still has baseball. That helps a lot. I'm blessed. I'm favored. I thank God that even through our marriage not being the best, even through our ups and downs, he knows I'm really honest and transparent.
Yeah.
Right? And
that's what Soft Girl is about.
You know what I mean? And even now, right now, our marriage is not toxic anymore, but we are still like in separation. More like we don't know if we're going left or right.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know that now. We're leaving it to the Lord. We're praying on it. We're doing a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we still support each other. And I am blessed to have that because he does help a lot taking care of Romani while I'm working 2 jobs. Just the 2 jobs alone. Sometimes I don't get home till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
You know? And so doing that, and one of the reasons I even had to do that was because the year before I had went all in on my business, right? And I wasn't working at all, and I was. I
think that's the year that you and I got a little bit closer because you were telling me that. Okay, yeah.
I was all in. I was, doing everything, and every penny, everything was going towards business and bills, and that is not how to build. You start to then build out of desperation versus inspiration, right? Because you want to make sure that you have enough to cover this and this and this and this and this and this, right? And then with my marriage starting to go bad last summer, things took a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could not be my best and show up for these women, for these girls, for this, for this brand, for this story, if I was not all in.
Yeah.
If I was not all in for myself. And I'm not saying perfect because, that will never happen, right? And our testimony means everything. But I just knew at that moment I had to take a step back. I had to take a step back and really just say, okay, God, like, where am I going? I know you gave me this gift.
What is it that you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? Right? I know you gave me this gift. You gave me this talent. This is not something that just everybody has. It is pretty special. I mean, yes, I'm tooting my own horn because I do.
As you should.
You know what I mean?
As you should.
I know that. And so I'm like, but just how do you want me to guide it? Right? So I had to step back. I really had to take care of stuff at home. Right? Take care of stuff at home. And then I went and God gave me this job. Like, he literally gave me this
Bless
job.
you.
Like, I had applied for the job. They told me I was up for it. And then they told me they gave it to somebody else. And I was like, okay, right. How did I go from number 1 to number 2?
But okay.
Okay. A week later, hurricane passed. A week later, this is last year, hurricane season. And I woke up on a Tuesday morning. I'll never forget it because my mentor was on. And I woke up on a Tuesday morning and I said to myself, God, I need a job today. Today. Not tomorrow. I need a job
Specific prayers.
Today, right? I grab my computer and of course the doubts kick in. Girl, you ain't got no interview. You ain't got nothing set up. You ain't about to get no job today. Right? I'm like, whatever. I grabbed my laptop. I grabbed my iPad. I was, applying, but I was also working on my business from 7 to 11 in the morning.
Wow.
Right? From 7 to 11, I was on the bed. I was just And I didn't realize I missed the phone call. When I go to check my voicemail, hey, Idylli. Well, I just shouted out my real name there. Nobody even knows that.
I thought maybe like the lady said your name wrong or something.
No, that is my real name. So, but she's like, hey, and it was actually a gentleman, and he's like, we decided to go with you on the position. If you're still available, we would like to offer it to you.
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah. And I heard that voicemail. I dropped my phone. I just dropped to my knees. I said, Lord, thank you, God. Like,
amen.
There's no way. You cannot tell me there's no God.
Right.
I literally sat there and prayed. I had no interview scheduled.
Right.
I had nothing. I had been turned down for jobs, everything. I'm there and I said, yes, I'm getting a job today. God, you said.
Those bold, specific prayers. His word is not null and void. So I'm so happy that you spoke that over your life. And now look.
And sis, and he gave me that job, right? And the funny thing is when I got to the job, because they like to talk certain ways or whatever, and one of the ladies was like, oh, she would have never been number 2 for me. She would have been number 1, like if I wasn't going to catch on to what they were saying. And then the other boss is like, don't make a fuss, right? And I'm like, it's okay. I didn't get this job. You didn't hire me for this job. God gave me this job.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Because I'm not going to give you the credit
at all.
You know what
I mean? Like, God gave me this job. And they kind of didn't understand, but,
That's
whatever.
okay.
That's
They
not for
don't
them
have
to understand.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, God gave me that job. He literally opened that opportunity for me. And then he opened the opportunity for me to work at Sephora.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that.
I think if Sephora paid me way more money, that I would totally do that full time. I mean,
You're in your element. Because
Exactly.
you're always just all dolled up. Girl, I'll watch your posts. You be like, this outfit or this outfit. And then you have your makeup done, your hair done. And I'm like, she was just so cute. I just love it.
Thank you.
You just always just have so much confidence in everything. Oh my goodness. Speaking of, so yes, girl, your energy is contagious, okay? Super contagious. But I know that it has to take work just to keep that flame burning. What are you doing spiritually, mentally, physically to stay grounded?
So it doesn't take a lot of work.
Oh, okay.
When I say God gave me this gift, he really did.
Yeah.
And the energy, it just takes me being consistent in prayer and working on myself daily and having conversations with myself and looking in the mirror and loving myself and putting the effort in. Wow. When you talk about, thank you for the compliments on always looking good, but I wasn't always like this. Mm-hmm. I was always considered the ugly one, right? Because, let's be real. My features are not model-like.
I was gonna say, I don't see that at all.
Thank you.
I'm okay,
because you see,
where?
Because you're getting the energy, you're getting the feel,
energy.
You're getting this,
That's
right?
What I mean. It's contagious.
Thank you. And it's understanding whose you are, because if I let the world tell me, they're gonna say that I have a big nose, I have big ears, I wear a size 11 in shoe. Okay, I've actually had to counsel myself in therapy for that. I almost didn't have a second baby because of this. Oh, my third. Because that's what happened. My foot grew in pregnancy. I was already a 9. And then I went to a 10 and didn't go down. So when we planned Romani, he was the only one planned. The other 2 were oops.
Oh my gosh.
Romani was the only one planned. We literally talked about I talked to my husband. I said, my foot's going to grow another size. Are we sure?
We won't be the same size.
Right. Are we sure we want to do this, right? And of course he's here and he blessed our lives. So here I am, size 11 mom, right? But these are things that I've had to work on because if I let society, if I let the world tell it, I'm not pretty enough, right? Yeah. I'm not good enough to be on stage. And then my sister, she was always she had that tan olive skin, beautiful smile, gorgeous cheekbones, were always pretty, right? Real pretty. And so that's why, and my cousin too, my cousin Marilu. So I was always the ugly one. People say, oh, you're not ugly. And I get it. I'm not saying that I'm ugly, definitely not. No, but understanding, right, that I don't fit the typical type. Yeah. Right? I don't fit the typical, statistically speaking, I don't fit the typical type. But can't nobody tell me that, right? Right. And I look in the mirror and I'm putting effort in myself because I'm I know whose I am. Yeah. I was created before I was even in my mother's womb.
Absolutely.
Do you know how many sperms, whatever I don't know the term for it, but it is a 4...
Eggs?
Yes. It is a 4 billion trillion chance opportunity that it was my egg that got together.
Yes.
And it came out me.
Yeah.
Even with my big nose, my gap teeth, like every part of me.
Right. Yeah.
You know, look at I have like Tony Robbins hands. I call myself, every time we're going to take a picture, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I got the selfie arms. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, and we're like taking long pictures, right? And I got the selfie arms. But it's understanding and loving every part of those things about me that can bring on this energy, that can bring to the people that when I walk into a room, people feel me. They don't just see me, they feel me.
Right.
And that's the goal. And it's not just me being loud. And I know that sometimes people think, oh, I have to be as loud as her. You don't. That's why I love that this podcast is called Soft Girl Era.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because being soft is power. I'm just loud because I'm loud. That's just me.
And
right?
Spanish.
Bien boricua, puertorriqueña, I can't help it.
People, they just be loud.
Why are you always screaming? I'm not screaming. Like probably the mic is like on level right now, right? Because it's just me, right? I just can't help it.
Oh my goodness, when I interviewed Jessie, she was saying the same thing. Because, you know, Jessie, she's Spanish. And she's like, I'm all loud. And you're just like,
Right? But you don't have to be me to get that effect, right? You are the soft girl. You are your brand. You are, that's why it's called Soft Girl Era.
Yeah.
Because it's who you are.
Took me some time. It took me some time to get to this.
When we were on stage next to each other. I don't know if you remember this, right? We have video. Hopefully we can put something in the comments or something of this video that we have on stage together. But you have me like, and then you have you like sitting there with your thing, and just as powerful. Yeah. When you spoke, the people felt you. They heard you. Just as powerful,
That's
right?
Good. That's
it didn't
good.
matter that you weren't as loud as me.
Yeah.
Because it's your power, your soft girl. So it's your visibility. What is it that you bring to the table?
Yeah.
Right?
I love that you say that because you're really essentially focusing on not comparing yourself to the next. And it took me a long time to get to that point because, like you said, with you know, just how you were seeing yourself, and you have to like look at yourself in the mirror. For the longest, like, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I have a nice smile or anything, but I'm not as curvy as these other girls. You know, these men, they want the curves and everything. And so like I wasn't showing up as myself. I was kind of like hiding myself, you know? And it would take liquor for me to have that courage to make me feel myself, to have that confidence too. So then when I stopped drinking back in December, I kind of like lost myself a little bit because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like how do I, you know, I don't have that liquor courage anymore. And it was really just me talking to God, writing it out, and going through the Bible and really focusing on what he said about me, what he says, you know, and praying over that too. So one thing that I am, thank you to you, that I am going to start doing is just really focusing on looking at myself in the mirror and talking to myself as well. You know, as weird as it may be, there was this book that I was reading. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called Soundtracks. And it's basically like the soundtracks over your life, like what you're saying to yourself, you know, and they mentioned something about that, about, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror. So this is the second time that I've heard it. You know, I saw that you write it down and put it on the mirror. But no, this is like when I asked you that question, you were like, because I'm my own best friend. And I was like, oh my goodness. You know, it's the energy. People feel that energy, and people can feel when you're timid, when you're shy, when you're not as confident. And I think so many women need to hear that because first off, we're all beautiful, you know. God has uniquely made us. Yes. So we are all so beautiful, and we have this very horrible tendency of comparing ourselves, our body type, our hair. We want curly hair. We want straight hair, yada, yada, yada. First off, the curls ain't all that, okay? You see my hair is up because who has time for this, okay? I was going to take the time to do it, and I was like, you know what? I'm showing up as is. And I just think that's the biggest thing for women, that we have to start showing up as who we are and as who God has made us be. So I just love that, and I really do appreciate your energy, right? And who we can become.
And who can we become? And that's what books and becoming is for, right? Because we are becoming all the time. Where are we going to the next level? How are we growing? Mirror talk. The mirror work's real. Like, you can now search it. There's a lot of books on it. Yeah. A lot of people talk about it because it's real work. Like, you're really looking at yourself in the mirror. Like, a lot of the times I would get in the car and I would just put the little visor down and I love you, girl. I love you so much.
I love that.
And my kids look like, Ma, really? Like, And I'm like, yes. And people might see it as being vain, but it's not, because I'm about to go out into this world that's probably going to beat me up. Somebody's going to probably beep the horn at me, try to cut me off. I'm going to get to the gas station. They're going to be rude to me. Somebody's going to be mean. Somebody's going to do this. I'm going to get to work. There's going to be mad drama going on. My kids are going to call me. Somebody's going to be sick. Somebody's going to break their foot. My son just literally sprained his foot. We were at the emergency last Friday, right? All of these things are going to happen. So I get to choose to love to. I don't have to. I don't need to. I get to choose to love to. I got that from my mentor, right? We get to do these things. I get to choose to love to look myself in the mirror and prepare and get ready and just say, I love you. And no matter what happens today, you're going to do your best.
That's so good.
You know, and we're going to be at our best.
Yeah. Speaking of your kids, how has motherhood, I guess, shaped or influenced where you are right now and just the decisions that you have made now?
Motherhood, girl, is so hard. Listen.
Hello. I know.
I love my kids, and I know they're going to see this, and I don't want you to think that I don't love you, but it is hard.
I love you, baby, okay? Because I know you're going to watch this too. But we about to talk and get real.
We're responsible for a whole human being. Right? And we don't know this at first. We don't, exactly. And we don't realize this at first. Then we do realize, and it's kind of too late. Right? We're like, oh man, we already made these mistakes. We can't take it back. And that's a whole human now that has to go out there and then do that. And then it's just a cycle. And then it's just, you know, if they're blessed to have kids, then it's the same thing. And it's just, it's so difficult. And a lot of the times people think because they made these mistakes as moms, they can't help other people.
Yeah.
They can't be successful. They made a mistake. Their kids are all jacked up. So how can they do it right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
See, my kids know me. They don't they don't know the new me.
Yeah.
Right? They know what they used to know from before. How mom grew up before, how I was before, right?
Yeah.
How I was with them, how I would lose it like this, how I would snap, how I would yell in the grocery store like I didn't care. Right? I was that mom.
Yeah.
Right in the grocery store in front of everybody. Not realizing the trauma that I was bringing to that child.
Yeah.
Right? Not realizing that, understanding it now, but not realizing it back then. But that does not mean that I cannot then move forward in helping people get to the next level, because I've learned from those things.
Lived through that.
I've lived through that, right? And someone else needs to understand that too. Like I was on a podcast, so it was a while ago, and they were like, oh, you know, like, I guess it's in the Bible. Oh, if you're not doing in your own home, you know, even one of my pastors had, one of his sons had something had happened, and he thought of retiring from being a pastor. Wow. Because he felt like, how can I lead a church if I can't lead my own home? Right? It's in the Bible. I don't know where it is. Right? I don't know where it is. It's in the Bible that you're supposed to say your home has to be your home first before you can go out and teach. Right? And somebody in the comments can let us know exactly where that comes from. But I believe that that's just misunderstood and mistaken out of context.
As most of the Bible is.
As most of the Bible is, right? And the misunderstanding in that, he didn't retire, thank God, because he had a lot of lives too, you know, and his son came back, you know, the prodigal child, you know, he understood. He didn't want that life, and he did come back.
His father was there.
And his father was there, open arms, right? And to take him in. That's so funny. The church was called Open Arms. I said Open Arms.
Wow.
I know. You know, but like at the end of the day, understanding that it doesn't matter what we've been through, and maybe some of the mistakes that we have made in motherhood and childhood that we cannot take back. All we can do is continue to pray over our children and pray that they understand one day, maybe not now, right? One day that they understand that we did the best with what we had available to us, right? And that wasn't much, right? And so we did the best with what we had available to us, and understanding that motherhood, while it never ends, it does slow down and take a pause when you have adult children. Because I've had to really understand that I have to let my daughter make her own decisions.
Yeah. There's different stages of that too, you know?
Hard.
Because my son is 10, and even now, like I shared with you, he's away. He's in North Carolina right now visiting his godparents. And I'm over here just like, I'm missing my baby like crazy. And yesterday he didn't call me at all. And I'm just like, does that mean he's just not even thinking about me? You know what I mean? So like, and like even now I'm always just trying to kiss all over him, just love on him. And he's at that age where he just wants me to maybe play some video games with him, shoot some hoops, and which is fine. But like, I miss my baby. Like, I just want to cuddle. So being able to adapt and adjust to the different stages of life, and learning to allow them to make the mistakes, because he'll tell me, he'll be like, Mom, I got it. Like, I know how to do it or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. Like, okay, this is it, you know? this is where it starts and where it's going to carry on. Well, first off, when they're like 4, they're always like, oh, I got it. Okay, but do you really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it's a different kind of I got it.
Exactly.
From I got it at
exactly.
now.
Because this I got it now is like with like so much boldness. Like,
Yep.
Mom, like, I got it.
Yep.
So anyways,
I know.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Right.
No, it's so different. And recently I had my daughter graduated high school. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. That's another generational. She's the first woman in my family to do so.
Wow. Praise God.
First woman in my family to graduate high school. And so I dropped out at 9th grade and then I went and got a GED because I was like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So I went to Job Corps, got a GED. She's the first one to walk the stage, graduate high school. So proud of her. But she wanted to go to college. And so, of course, we don't know what we're doing, right? We didn't do it on time. But I still kept telling her, you can go to school, go to college, she wanted to go out of state for years. Then, so there's two things to this story. One, I tell her she all of a sudden changed her mind. And she wants to stay here. And I know it's because she got really close with this friends group. And I get that. And they were like really, and there's a, good group, church, good kids,
Okay.
But I'm like, I promise you, when the summer's over, it's gonna be fall, and they're gonna go their own way, and still go to school. And why don't you want to go to? For 3 years, you've been wanting to go to school all the time. You know her answer to me, girl.
What?
She said, "Yeah, but that's because I wasn't healed, and God's been really working in my life and healing me. So now I don't know if I want to leave home anymore." And in my head, I'm like, what can I even say to that? Like,
wow.
I can't say no. You still need to get
That's
out.
That's like a whole grown. What do you say to that?
Exactly. And I was like, oh, that's great to hear, honey. Okay. That's so good. And I was happy.
Well, whatever you want.
Right. And I was just so happy to hear that. But at the same time, I'm like, no, but I get that. But you still got to go to school.
Yeah.
Like, go and experience. And don't stay here for this.
And just pray on that, allow God to speak to her.
Well, no, guess what she tells me this week, right? This was all going on from like December of last year to graduation. And then this week she's like, Mom, can you call the school and get my transcripts sent over to JW because I really want to go to school. I was talking to my friend and she said that I shouldn't hold back my dream. Everything that I told.
But when your friends say it,
sis,
it's always like that. Oh yeah, did you know this and that? I'm like, that's not true. Well, my friend said it. Well, your friend's a liar, right? No, let me stop.
No, but everything that I had been telling her for the last 6 months, maybe longer, since she changed her mind not to go to school, like everything I've been telling her, her friend told her in one sitting. And now she's like, I really want to send my transcript.
Welcome to motherhood. If you're not a mom or if you haven't reached this point yet, welcome. Your time is coming.
Yes. And of course, I'm not going to be like, well, I told you. Even though the little pettiness wants me to be like, I told you.
I be thinking it.
Whatever.
Right.
I be thinking it. But I'm like, no, I got you. Okay, let me come to school.
Okay, baby.
Let's figure this out. Right? And this is what I tell my husband all the time. Sometimes he's like, you got to be on her. Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
See, my dad died when I was 8.
Yeah.
My mom locked herself in the bedroom for 2 months. I had 3 brothers and sisters, young, a year. 2 of them were a year younger than me. The other one was a baby.
Wow.
My aunts and stuff helped, but I was the one all in, right?
Yeah.
I had to grow up at 8 years old. I had to grow up fast, right? I've always been, my stepfather, he always took things out on me, not on them.
Yeah.
But I was good with that. I protected, right?
Yeah.
It was always a protection. I was okay with these
hard.
things. And so growing up, I've always been like, as soon as I started making money, I was helping my mom. My mom had another baby. I was always taking care of her school supplies, this, that. I was 17, working, doing these things, right?
Like me, robbed of your childhood, essentially.
Right? Exactly. But so I didn't do that to my daughter. And my husband's always like, oh, you didn't teach her how to be a woman, how to clean, how to cook, bien boricua, it's Puerto Rican husband, right? She's not going to know how to take care of her man. Like, those were literally his words. Y'all don't hate on him in the comments. I know that was wrong. Trust me. We had a conversation about it, okay? Okay?
But there's some people listening who are agreeing, and then there's others disagreeing who already know.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Right.
That's cancel right there. That's cancel culture.
You already know.
Right? But at the end of the day, I didn't want to do her the way that I was done.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't
It's
want
hard finding
her,
that middle, that median.
Exactly. It's her finding it out and on her own. When she gets on the apartment, she's not a dirty person. She's not going to be dirty, you know. It's cooking when she, wants to learn how to cook and doing these things.
Yeah.
Not, this is you're a woman, you have to cook, you have to do these things. Do I regret a little bit? Yes. Do I wish I would put a little bit more responsibility on her? Yes, I do.
But you didn't take that childhood away from her so she could focus on all these things in the future.
Exactly. Especially that it got taken away in other ways that,
Right.
You can't imagine. But right. But at the end of the day, she's still like the other day. She cooked something for us. She's like, "See, I do know how to cook. It's just when I feel like it." I know
that's right, baby.
And I'm like, I always say that. Because she sent that to me. I'm like, you sending this text to the wrong person, girl, because I'm always got your back.
Right,
but
I got you.
Like, that's how I text her back. And I always confirm that. Like, I know that, right? It's something that's instilled in us.
Send it to your daddy.
Exactly. Send it to your dad, not to me. But at the end of the day, it's letting her make these decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Letting her fall, letting her understand, like, okay, you are 18. You're going to make these decisions. That's fine. I'm just going to back you up.
Right,
I'm always going to be here for you.
Absolutely. Sis, you have poured so much wisdom and fire into this room.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I talk a lot sometimes.
No,
oh
my gosh, don't be sorry, because I'm about to go back and like readjust some things in my own life. Oh my goodness. I just know that, just like me, that I'm doing this podcast, but still, sometimes we still can face some insecurities. So I know that there's so many women listening to this podcast that are about to go out there and reclaim their voice, but where can they stay connected with you? Because I know that they're going to be like, I need some more guidance from her. Like, that was too short. Give me more. How can they stay connected and tap into Idylli's world?
I have a couple of things going on. So I do have, which I won't, when this is over, I will definitely give you more details on it, because I know I'm going to start in your area, in this area. So I feel like in Tampa is such a big city. Everybody loves Tampa, right? Everybody's doing all these things in Tampa. It's great. But what about these cities? What about Hudson? What about Spring Hill? What about Newport Richie? What about these places, right, that nobody's tapping into? And I've literally been doing research behind it. And I've just been going places and talking to people and understanding that there's an untapped need, right? And that's where I'm here to serve, right? Yeah. To serve and just to give, right? So with that being said, there's going to be events that are going to start happening. Booked and Become Invisible AF. The Unapologetically Idylli podcast is coming back. I don't have a date, but I promise you it is coming back.
I'm excited.
Thank you. If you ever want to catch any of my episodes, I do have them uploaded to my YouTube, which is IDYLLI. If you look up Idylli, I'm one of the only ones that come up, so you'll find my picture there, right? So IDYLLI. And we'll drop it in the comments. Thank you. It's really the way to find me. On Instagram, I'm It's Idylli. On YouTube, Idylli. Facebook, Idylli Santiago. I'm also coming up with a confidence guide, right? It's a Booked and Becoming, Visible AF. It's going to be just a guide. It's not this book. I'm not an author. Let me come back.
Okay, you didn't see my face, but I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes, I'm a part of two books. See, and this is sometimes, even me, confident as I am, right? I battle sometimes with accepting these blessings and these gifts that I'm a part of. Yeah. I have written in 2 anthologies. Right. I have been published.
I am an author.
Yes, so I am an author, right? And I'm going to be coming out with my own confidence guidebook that I'm really, really excited about. It's going to be small, short, just really to the point where people can put it in your purse, your pocket. It'll fit in your little pocket right there.
Today's age, right? We need something like, I need that meat.
Yes, exactly. So that's going to be coming out soon. And so to really, really, really just get on the wait list and get in touch, you can go to theidylli.com. That's IDYLL.com. It'll pull it up. You can get on the wait list for all the good things that God is about to bring on for this life. And I know that sometimes I can talk about myself a lot, but I never get it twisted and understand. One thing for certain, 2 things for sure. God is good.
Oh, you did a phenomenal job on this podcast ensuring that God has received all the glory in your life. So don't ever think that it comes off as in vain, being cocky or not humble or too prideful. You did a phenomenal job. And that's what I was admiring too, that you are still humble yet confident, and you're still giving God the glory that he deserves. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Thank you, because he is everything.
Wait, so did you tell us what the AF stands for?
I didn't.
Okay, are you going to? Are you going to share it? Okay, so we're not going to share it, but like I said, let's just be real clear. It's not what you think.
Yes, it's not what you think, right? And but sometimes we have to, if you're building a business or there is a brand behind it, there is something behind it, and it is whatever you're gonna think. What you're gonna think until you get into this space, and then you're gonna walk out knowing what it is to you.
Yeah.
Not even what it means for me.
Right, absolutely.
What it means for you. And that's the point of the AF. That's the point of this. It's like we walk into these rooms thinking we're going to know. But when we walk out, you're going to really know what it means to you. And so that you can take it out to the world.
I can't wait for women to just step into that room with you and to just get a glimpse of even what I got from you when we were in that short car ride. Because like I said, it truly stuck with me, it inspired me, and it helped me to get to where I am now. And so I just really want to encourage all the listeners, if you didn't get nothing out of this, which I know you did, but if you don't remember anything, just remember that showing up, it's not about you. It's about stepping into that room, being visible, being bold, walking into the purpose that God has graciously gifted you with. And that is another episode of SoftGirlEra. Thank you so much again for joining us, Idylli. Looking forward to all the new endeavors that you have coming up. Just in the meantime, y'all, stay deeply rooted in your healing bag and in your soft girl era. Until next time, my loves.